want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. Even if it means you gotta leave me, and you don't wanna be baby. Look, baby, I'm straight. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great.
I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. Easy, you know I love that song. I have to give a shout out to Easy Jackson. Be More Epic Fam, Be Great, one of my favorite songs. What's good, good people? My name is Dion Joyner Weems. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say it all together. And I'm the founder and chief energy officer of Audacity Group, a global marketing agency dedicated to the bold storytelling of social impact brands that care about the common good. But tonight, I'm speaking to you as the visionary behind #MyBeMore. 10 years ago, in the wake of Freddie Gray and Baltimore's uprising, we discovered how the city saw herself through the images and stories shared using #MyBeMore. It was a storytelling renaissance. With the power of digital media, Baltimore residents were no longer waiting for the local, national, or international news outlets to report on our stories, because our city already had the voices, the vision, and the power to do it ourselves. In 2018, #MyBeMore started as a simple way to collect and amplify authentic stories from across Baltimore's colorful neighborhoods and diverse industries. Since then, it has been used over 460,000 times and more by residents, travelers, creatives, social innovators, and organizations of all kinds. But what began as a hashtag has evolved into something so much more. #MyBeMore project is now a digital ecosystem for community-led storytelling. We like to think of ourselves as Baltimore's friendly community media partner. And tonight, we're rolling out a few of our newest tools for authentic engagement. Ways to connect the change makers with the solutions, with the people most impacted by the challenges. Because as the African proverb states, until the lion learns to speak, every story will always glorify the hunter. #MyBeMore is the voice of the lions. And right now, more than ever, we need to break down the silos and get the information that matters into the communities that need it most. Meet Baltimore, the last authentic city standing. And this is who Baltimore is fighting: poverty, racism, and misperception. Baltimore takes on battles like 1812, but this time, the fight, it's different. If the people of Baltimore are not engaged, informed, and empowered over the next 4 years, then a new Baltimore will be built on top of them. Baltimore's greatest gift is its people, and they deserve to benefit from Baltimore's growth. But the fear, lack of resources, silos, and poor communication has left our city vulnerable. Despite ambitious plans, grand investments, and emerging developments, Baltimore is facing challenges over the next 4 years that not only seek to destroy major urban communities across the United States of America, but also leave the aftermath at the feet of our children and grandchildren. But here is what our challengers weren't counting on. You, the nonprofit organizations, the grassroots leaders, the social entrepreneurs, our artists, they have and they will always be Baltimore's first line of defense. And God knows they have been on the ground fighting the systemic issues, taking the perception blows, and slaying dragons while still hunting for resources so they can live to fight another day. Baltimore's warriors are weary and tired, outnumbered, overworked, and unappreciated. Our challengers have circled in. They have our city surrounded by fear and clouded by misperception. They know our communities will not thrive in a new future if we do not arm our first line of defense with the resources and the information they need to empower our residents to lift their voices and engage. That's where my Be More project comes in.
Since 2017, My Be More has stood in the information gap and fostered collaboration with nonprofits, grassroots organizations, social entrepreneurs, and artists. These are the people Baltimore residents say they trust and depend on, and My Be More project is here to support their effort. If Baltimore wants to own its narrative, create new opportunities for our residents and businesses, and generate equitable economic growth, then we need to center the people Baltimore says it needs most, starting now.
Hashtag My Be More project is rolling out 4 tools for authentic engagement to better support, connect, and inform Baltimore's communities. Because when Baltimore residents know better, they do better. They feel better. They are informed, and their ideas and lived experiences can help shape the sustainable solutions that our children and grandchildren deserve. First up, our events calendar. This is one of Baltimore's first digital hubs dedicated to tracking the 8 key areas most critical to understanding the health and vibrancy of a city. Here's the truth. If Baltimore residents are not better informed and more engaged in the next 2 years, our future will be built with us or on top of us. Every day, essential conversations about these 8 key areas are happening in meetings, town halls, panel discussions, fireside chats, expos, and listening sessions across the city. Hashtag My Be More project exists to ensure that the people most impacted by these conversations are actually in the room. Because it's not just about hearing about an event. It's about valuing the opportunity enough to show up, speak up, and shape what's next. Hashtag My Be More project is developing a criteria for event sharing that doesn't skip the everyday person or overlook the insight of lived experience. If your event uplifts Baltimore, strengthens communities, welcomes all, stays people-centered, not politically endorsed, and you share it with us at least 2 weeks ahead, Hashtag My Be More project would be honored to help share your story. The streets are talking, and Hashtag My Be More project is listening. Every day, real conversations are happening in barbershops, on front porches, inside community centers, and on street corners across Baltimore. That's where the real needs, hopes, and ideas for change are born, not in closed-door meetings. Through real-time, community-led data collection, Hashtag My Be More project is bridging the gap between what people are discussing at their kitchen table versus what's being written into policy. We're partnering with researchers, grassroots leaders, and change makers to gather insights directly from residents, ensuring that decisions are rooted in lived experience, not assumptions. What's the 410 podcast? It's built for the people and by the people, cutting through the noise, making policies plain, and workshopping community-sourced solutions. No one tells Baltimore's story better than the people who live, love, and work on behalf of Baltimore's name. By tapping into our community's most trusted storytellers and social connectors who already shape public sentiment, we're talking about the artists, social innovators, grassroots leaders, creatives, youth voices, and everyday residents. What's the 410 moves faster, lands deeper, and builds stronger civic trust than traditional outreach efforts alone. And because we are live, we're inspiring real-time civic participation and conversation across Baltimore's over 250 plus neighborhoods. Hashtag My Be More project, it's not a media competitor or politically affiliated. We are a vehicle for sharing information and connecting with others. Because if we're not sharing what we're learning and asking informed questions along the way, we're bound to repeat what we were meant to heal. And that's not the life we're called to live. Hashtag My Be More project isn't about one person. It's about a movement powered by you, residents, grassroots leaders, creatives, artivists, nonprofit founders, and social innovators. Each doing what they can with what they have to make life better for others. Engaging with Hashtag My Be More project means gaining authentic visibility, digital storytelling support, and the power to shape Baltimore's future on your own terms. If you're rooted in Baltimore and doing the work, We would be honored to feature your story. Scan the QR code or visit mybemoreproject.com/contact to be featured. As a daughter of Baltimore, #MyBeMoreProject has been a labor of love. But after the recent passing of my father, a man who gave his heart to this city and its youth, it's become even more personal. He believed, in his own words and notes, that the closest to the struggle are also closest to the solution, and it starts with you. That's what #MyBeMoreProject is all about. It's about believing in each other. It's about lifting up the voices and stories that define who we are. And it's about choosing every day to build the future we deserve. These are just a few of the tools to help us on that journey. We're stepping into a new season of growth, and we want you with us. #MyBeMoreProject has become a symbol of civic pride. Now, with your heart and your energy, we're building something even greater. A thriving ecosystem rooted in authentic community storytelling. Will you join us? The future needs your voice.
I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. Even if it means you gotta leave me and you don't wanna be baby, look baby, I'm straight. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great. I just want you to be great.